Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome back to my podcast if you are listening to this episode in the audio version only. My name is Rux, I'm a Western tropical astrologer, and today we're going to be talking about one of the absolute best astrological events of 2022. I know I'm really selling it here. The new moon in Pisces on the 2nd of March. Now, why is this amazing? Why am I so excited for it? Because it's going to be conjunct Jupiter, the great benefic, the bringer of good luck, of opportunities, of benefits, of prosperity and abundance. So, needless to say, this new moon is going to be an auspicious one. Now, before we start dissecting it a little bit more closely, let me flag a few important things from the very beginning. I'm a Western tropical astrologer, therefore all videos, all episodes on my podcast follow Western tropical astrology. In my practice, I use the whole sign house system. So if you're looking at your chart in a different house system, such as Placidus and so on, that's why sometimes you're going to notice when I say, oh, this full moon is happening, this new moon is happening in your second house, you're going to say, oh no, it's actually happening in my third, and so on. I use the whole sign house system because I have found it to be the most accurate in my experience and in my clients' experience. You can use whatever house system suits you best. If you want to work with me, you can do so by going to my website, which is writteninthestars-astrology.com. You can go to the services section and you can book a 1-hour live Zoom consultation with me. In the 1-hour live Zoom consultation, we dive into your natal chart. You can ask me any questions that you have about your love life, career, spirituality, whatever's on your mind right now. We can also look into the year ahead. We can dive into the topic of synastry. If you've got someone in mind that you would like to check your synastry with, we can also dive into astrocartography. So the 1-hour live Zoom consultation is completely customizable to your needs. That was my cat, just in case you were wondering. All my audio recorded only readings are currently sold out. I will announce both here and on my Instagram channel at RuxUnbelievable when I restock them. But in the meantime, if you want to book something in the calendar with me, you can go for the 1-hour live Zoom consultation. If you are an existing client, if you've purchased any type of reading from me in the past, you can also take advantage of the follow-up consultation option, also available on my website in the services section, and we can talk about any and all topics that are on your mind right now. We can look at the months ahead, the year ahead. You can ask me about your plans. We can discuss about maybe best dates to kick something off, and so on. So, new moon, 2nd of March in Pisces. This is happening at 5:34 p.m. GMT time. So you can adjust that for your own time zone. It is happening at 12 degrees, 6 minutes of Pisces. So people who have planets at, let's say, 10 to 14 degrees of mutable signs will probably feel this new moon the most. What are the mutable signs, you're going to ask me? Or maybe not, maybe you know them already. Let me go through them for you. Virgo and Pisces are the mutable signs, as well as Sagittarius and Gemini. This new moon is conjunct Jupiter, so we can expect new beginnings. We can expect an abundance of Piscean things. Now, Pisces is connected with healing, compassion. It may feel like a whole new beginning for people at an emotional level. We can also hear news about medicine, about medical issues, about mental health. There can also be news out there, just letting you know, about the regulation of drugs, which are also governed by Pisces in astrology. It's a very soothing and very healing and empathetic and compassionate energy in general that we're dealing with. It's a very soft, a very flowing energy. I do feel that people will at a collective level, maybe experience this sense of, I can finally breathe, I can calm down, I can chill, I can rest, I can prioritize my mental health, my mental well-being. There can also be news connected with institutions, maybe institutions, especially of a charitable nature, that come to our attention around this time. I do believe that people are going to be in this charitable mood overall. We may also hear news connected with I was about to say escapist bubbles. I'm thinking here, for instance, of the metaverse. I'm thinking here of video games, for instance. There is this spotlight that is being placed on activities of a Piscean nature. It could be the arts, it could be spirituality. A lot of people may feel like they're experiencing this sense of connection with something greater than them. I'm just gonna say that I love this new moon. If you look at my Jupiter in Pisces forecast for all signs, which by the way is on my channel, I've posted it I think roughly a month ago. Consider this new moon the starting point of all those Jupiter in Pisces themes. Because lunations in general, new moons and full moons, bring things to our conscious attention. Especially when we talk about the transits of slower moving planets, such as Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. So it might be a good idea to look back at that forecast, at that update for Jupiter in Pisces on my channel. The new moon is also nicely aspecting Uranus. I mean, can I just say that this is a great... we are experiencing probably also some pleasant surprises in the Piscean topics of our life. So connected with healing, connected with imagination, with the arts, with spiritual practices. There may also be a surge in generosity coming from people at a collective level when it comes to giving some of what they have in terms of resources to others who have been suffering at this time. It's looking very good. Now, the one thing that I want to flag, folks, at this new moon is that there's genuinely no fire in the sky. Like, literally no fire. So, I won't say that it's the most energetic new beginning. It's the most kind of like upbeat, hyper enthusiastic new beginning. No, actually energy can be quite low, but it's okay. We can take it easy at this new moon. We don't have to be jumpy. We're gonna be very jumpy in Aries season, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the updates for all zodiac signs. If you know your rising sign, please listen to the update for your rising sign. If you don't, listen to the update for your sun sign. The rising sign update is the closest that you can get to a personalized forecast. This is something that an astrologer, such as myself, does for their clients. A personalized forecast looks at transits, looks at progressions, annual perfections, and so on. And it takes into account your natal planetary placement. So that is the most accurate type of forecast that you can get. But if you're not getting one of those, then listening to the forecast for your rising sign is the closest thing that you can get to that. Also remember that astrology does not predict exact material manifestation. It is only archetypally predictive. Astrology is not clairvoyance. You've got the free will to do whatever you please with your life. Astrology is a language of symbols and archetypes. It helps us understand what major life chapter we are in, where our attention is going to be focused. I'm going to offer you scenarios, but remember, it's not going to predict exactly what you're going to have for breakfast tomorrow, because that is not how it works. And that is besides the point, isn't it? So just keep that in mind, folks. Aries suns and Aries risings. This new moon on the 2nd of March 3 days before or 3 days after, let's say, is happening in your, in your 12th house. Now, It is harmoniously aspecting Uranus in Taurus in the second house of income, and it is conjunct Jupiter. For you, Aries, Jupiter rules your 9th house and your 12th house. I have to say, it feels like you're having some sort of epiphany on a spiritual level. It feels like you are finding maybe a new way to relax. You could also book a vacation away. Maybe you're thinking of going to a travel, kind of like retreat type of thing. What am I saying here? My apologies, English. So you could be booking a vacation to go to a spiritual retreat around this time. You may also feel like you've got a special connection with your higher self around this time. You may feel like you've reached a new level of connection, of bonding with your higher self, with your spiritual self, with the divine in general, with the mystical, I dare say. It also feels like a new beginning for you on a mental health level, my dear Aries. You could also start working on something behind the scenes, something that allows you to maybe escape reality in some shape or form, but that also generates income, which I believe to be beautiful. I'm like, yes, suck me into this sort of like out of this world activity and bring money. I'm like, that is ideal if you ask me. You could also start doing things for yourself behind the scenes in terms of shadow work, in terms of introspection around this time that help you appreciate yourself more, value yourself more, my dear Aries. Now, if you are a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, on the 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, you've got a new moon in Pisces in your 11th house in conjunction with Jupiter and in a harmonious aspect with Uranus in your first house of identity. For you, Taurians, Jupiter rules your 8th house and your 11th house. It feels like this is a time when you are maybe joining some sort of new tribe, new group of people. You could also enter some sort of artistic, creative tribe. You may join some sort of like institution maybe, or a collective, a group of people that you feel very much aligned with in terms of the causes that you care about, in terms of how you want to contribute to the wider world in this lifetime. You may also set a new dream for yourself, a new goal for yourself at this point in time. And I have one big piece of advice for you, Taurus. Dream big, because Jupiter is on your side. This can also be a time when you receive the opportunity to collaborate with a group of people. And it is going to be probably one of the most enriching experiences that you've had in a very, 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 very long time. So I say jump. Now, if you are a Gemini sun or a Gemini rising, 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, you've got a new moon in Pisces in your 10th house, conjunct Jupiter and harmoniously aspecting Uranus in the 12th house. Geminis, a new opportunity is making its way to you career-wise. You may receive it without necessarily expecting it. You may receive a promotion around this time. You may apply for a job and be accepted for it, and it may feel like something out of this world. It may feel like, we've got the saying in Romania, like God placed their hand on your head. It's like the odds are very much in your favor to step up career-wise, Geminis, at this time. So I say take a leap of faith forward. If you've been thinking of applying for a new job, absolutely do it. If you receive some sort of like intuitive insight as to what you should be doing next career-wise, I say trust it, because something much greater than you seems to be talking to you and seems to be pointing the path forward. Very good news career-wise, an exciting new beginning, but also if you don't experience anything massive around this time, remember that the new moon is only the beginning. You're going to start seeing the results and the rewards over the next 6 months, Geminis. Jupiter also rules your 7th house, so you may enter into a very auspicious business partnership at this point in time as well, Geminis. Forgive me if I am mangling words sometimes. Now, if you are a Cancer sun or a Cancer rising, this new moon in Pisces is happening in your 9th house on the 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after. And it is conjunct Jupiter, the ruler of your 6th house of day-to-day work, Cancerians. I love this. Can I just say that I love this? It feels like you are kicking off a very important new chapter of growth, of development on a mental level, on a spiritual level, in terms of your worldviews, in terms of your belief system. It feels like you are climbing up to the mountaintop and you're realizing how narrow your vision of life and your perspective so far has been. You may also receive some sort of job offer around this time, Cancerians, or you may start work on some sort of project that involves dealing with an international audience or with an international client. It's a fantastic, fantastic time to welcome a new mentor into your life. And indeed, a new mentor might come into your life, someone that will help you take your work to the next level. You may also have an epiphany in terms of your approach and your attitude towards your health. It feels like you're seeing things in a new light in this direction. You may also make travel plans around this time, or you may kick something off in terms of academia and higher education. If you're doing any of these, or if you're thinking of doing any of these, Cancerians, I say, go big or go home. Go big, because Jupiter likes big. I will say. Now, if you are a Leo sun or a Leo rising, 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, you've got a new moon in Pisces in your 8th house, conjunct Jupiter, harmoniously aspecting Uranus in your 10th house of career. Jupiter for you rules your 5th house. It feels like this is a time when you are kicking off some sort of chapter, Leos, where you're making money maybe in a new way together with a business partner. Maybe you're investing in something. Maybe you're starting to invest in something. Maybe you're receiving shares from your company. Maybe you're receiving a bonus. Maybe you're hearing of the fact that the company that you work for is changing their bonus policies, and it seems to be changing them in your favor. So it's very good news. You're very excited. You could also be, my apologies, you could be receiving very good news connected with loans, mortgages, sponsorships, bursaries, inheritance, division of assets. It feels like all of the aforementioned are going in the way that I want to say they're going better for you than you thought they would. That's kind of like how I would look at it. You may also receive some sort of gift around this time, Leos. So I say welcome it. I say be ready for it. Be prepared for it. You may also start working on yourself from a mental health and psychological perspective, maybe in a new way. And it feels like the best way, I will say, the best way to help you appreciate yourself more, love life more. I'm absolutely loving this this new moon for you, Leos. Now, if you are a Virgo sun or a Virgo rising, 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, you've got a massive, massive new beginning in the area of partnerships and committed relationships. For those of you who are single, you are likely to meet someone who you want to be with for the long run. For those of you who are already with someone, your partner may have some fantastic, fantastic news for you. Some Virgo, especially Virgo risings, might get engaged around this time, might move in with a partner around this time, might decide to kind of like change something in their home and living situation as a result of the positive developments in the area of relationships. Fantastic developments in the area of relationships. Virgos, I will say this, but also remember that the new moon is just the beginning. So it may take up to 6 months to see things fully blossom, fully unfold. You may make plans to travel with a partner around this time. It may feel like you're experiencing this this sense of feeling privileged and blessed in the area of partnerships and relationships at this new moon. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it for you. My dear Libras, Libra suns and Libra risings. On the 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, you have a new moon in Pisces in your 6th house, conjunct Jupiter. Now, Jupiter for you, Libras, also rules your 3rd house. This new moon is going to be nicely aspected to Uranus and Taurus in your 8th house of shared resources, transitions, transformations, and so on. Many of you Libras, especially Libra risings, may feel like you are starting a new job around this time. Now, some of you may be literally starting a new job within a new company. You may be formally starting work in a new position, in a new role. But even those who are not changing jobs in terms of moving to a different company and so on, it may feel like you're starting super fresh in this direction. Why is that? Because it feels like your day-to-day tasks, routines, responsibilities will change significantly from this new moon onwards. It is a fantastic opportunity for you in the next 6 months or so to polish your skill set, to become better at what you do work-wise, at how you put your talents and resources into the service of others. You may also decide around this time to apply for new jobs, and I say 200% do it, because this year is a year of growth for you work-wise. You may start being increasingly busy from this new moon onwards, but it is something that you seem to enjoy doing. It is something that seems to be helping you learn some more about, as I said, a type of service or something that you do to help others, to be of use to other people. You may also start some sort of like new health regimen around these days, around the 2nd of March, Libras. It feels like whatever you're starting to do from the 2nd of March onwards is impacting beautifully your mental health and how you feel internally. You may introduce a new habit into your life around this time. Maybe you start meditating periodically. I would strongly recommend that you introduce a habit of a Piscean / Jupiterian nature, so something of a spiritual nature, or something that allows you to visualize things, to maybe relax more. I'm liking it, Libras. Now, if you are a Scorpio sun or a Scorpio rising, well, you folks, out of all people, will probably have one of the best experiences at the time of this new moon. Why? Because Pisces is a sign that trines Scorpio. So you are benefiting fully from the energy of this new moon. So 3 days before, 3 days after the 2nd of March, the new moon in Pisces in your 5th house is going to conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter rules your 2nd house of income, and it is going to sextile Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house. New love, new romantic affair for some Scorpios. Some Scorpio risings may hear news of a pregnancy. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your pregnancy, but you can hear very positive news connected with some sort of pregnancy and in the life of someone who is very important to you. You may also discover some sort of like a new hobby that you want to engage in moving forward. You may discover a new source of joy. This new moon can bring a new source of joy into your life. And you may also discover something that is really fun for you and that you can do together with your partner. You may also start going back out on the dating scene. This can also be a time when you start work on a creative project that will bring you money in the long run. So I'm absolutely loving this. New love, new hobbies. Scorpios, you're hashtag blessed. I mean, I know the sarcastic Scorpio will look at me and say, Rux, are you nuts? Are you mad? But I also know that you will truly appreciate sarcasm like no one else, Scorpios. Now, if you are a Sagittarius sun or a Sagittarius rising, this new moon on the 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, is going to happen in your 4th house of home. And it is going to conjunct, let's see, Jupiter, which is obviously the ruler of yourself, of your sense of identity. Some Sagittarians may move into a new home. Some Sagittarians may hear news of how the family is growing and expanding. So maybe a family member is getting pregnant. Maybe around this time you are thinking of moving into a bigger house. Maybe this is a time when you're thinking of relocating and you're starting to take steps in that direction. You may also start working together with a family member from home, but it seems to be something that you really, really enjoy doing. The focus is very much on your private life. It is a fabulous time, and in general, this year, Sagittarius, is a very, very good year, especially for Sagittarius risings, to expand their family, to move, to relocate, to purchase property, to renovate, to go big or go home, or go big on your home. I know, cheesy, right? I need to update my arsenal of like puns and jokes. You may also hear very good news if a parent was suffering of something health-wise. Fabulous news connected with their health. It's looking so much better. It's a time of healing. It is a time of very strong emotional bonds with family members. You may feel very blessed in this area, I will say. Now, if you are a Capricorn sun or a Capricorn rising, 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after, the new moon in Pisces is happening in your 3rd house, and it will sextile Uranus in your 5th house of enjoyment. It is conjunct the planet Jupiter. Jupiter rules your 12th house. Very good news, Capricorns, around this time. Coming from a sibling, if you have siblings, some of you may decide to purchase a new car. Some of you may start classes and courses, and you may start learning about something that you're very passionate about, that you truly enjoy learning about. It feels like you are also updating, in a way, the way you think about a topic that might have made you feel disempowered, and now you look at it and you realize, okay, now I see the big picture. Now I see things in a different way. You may also launch some sort of like sales campaign around this time. It's a great time to start working on anything that involves writing, speaking, teaching, educating others, getting educated yourself, selling, any sort of like commercial endeavors kicked off around this time are probably going to develop beautifully. Can I just say that again? But if you do initiate something yourself, such as a business or working on your new website or start writing your book, I would recommend doing it from the 2nd of March onwards. When we do electional astrology, for things that we want to grow, it's great to kick them off, symbolically speaking, after the new moon has already happened. Aquarius brothers and sisters, suns and risings. 2nd of March, 3 days before, 3 days after. You've got a new moon in Pisces in your 2nd house. I mean, my Capricorn moon is very happy for you. This new moon is going to conjunct Jupiter, the bringer of good luck, of abundance, of opportunities, of prosperity. This looks beautiful. And it is also the ruler of your 11th house. You may welcome into your life, Aquarius, a new source of income, something that maybe you focus on from home, something that you do from home, or something that doesn't necessarily require you to kind of like go to the office and so on. You may receive a very, very lucrative opportunity to collaborate with a group of people on some sort of bigger, wider project that has a lot of exposure around this time. Pay attention to what sort of insights you receive from friends, from people in your life, and also from yourself intuitively, from kind of like that sense of intuition and connection with the divine. Pay attention to what messages you receive as to what sort of inner resource you need to focus on developing and cultivating moving forward, because that is a gold mine for you in terms of making money off the back of it in the long run. It is a time to revisit your budget, I would say, Aquarius, to draw up a new budget and to step into what I call a growth mindset. And you may feel like your mindset about money is shifting very, very strongly this year in general, but in particular around the 2nd of March. Time to make those, to make that money and to make it big. I will also say, because I'm going to have people saying, oh no, it's not all about money. I'm like, okay, yeah, but a lot is about money, actually. This is also a great time to really take a step back and realize how valuable and worthy you are, and maybe how you may have been underestimating yourself, how maybe you have been undervaluing yourself, and do something about it, Aquarius. Now, if you are a Pisces sun or a Pisces rising, you are the absolute stars of this new moon. The new moon is happening in Pisces in your 1st house. It is conjunct Jupiter, which is also the ruler of your 10th house of career, and very nicely aspected to Uranus in your 3rd house. A beautiful new beginning, Pisces, is what this new moon is likely to bring for you in the area of self-growth and self-development. It is time to set a bold new intention for your future in terms of who you want to turn into, in terms of how you want to develop moving forward, in terms of where you want to take your life moving forward, and to also think about how this chapter of self-development that you are kicking off around this time, how does this tie in with your professional life? You may actually kick off a very important journey of self-development professionally around this time, where you step into a new role, into a new position. You seem to start embodying the role of the guide, the mentor, the coach, and the teacher around this time a lot more. It is also a fantastic time to start any sort of like self-promotion campaign. Anything where you promote your services, where you share with the outside world what you offer. It can also feel like a time when you have an important epiphany about your soul's intentions in this lifetime. And I know that sounds very woo-woo. I apologize if that is the case. But it feels like you are positive, you're upbeat, you're optimistic, you've got the wind in your sails, and you've got the wind in your sails to go to set sail in whatever direction you want to set sail. My only recommendation is to not underestimate yourself. Because if there was ever a time to take risks and chances in your life, it is at the time when the new moon is conjunct Jupiter in your 1st house of identity. So folks, tell me, I'm absolutely so excited. I'm overwhelmed about this new moon. I don't want to oversell it. But please tell me and tell us in the comments how you feel at this new moon. And also remember that things take time to take shape. So the new moon is just the seed. Plant seeds. By the way, think of manifestation. What do you want to manifest? Visualize, meditate. This is the perfect time to plant seeds of expansion and of growth in your life, folks, in the area that Jupiter governs and in the area that Pisces is placed in your natal chart. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. What are you waiting for? And you can also find me on Instagram at RUXUnbelievable in one word. So that's RUXUnbelievable in one word. I post almost daily updates, not daily, but almost, astrological and life updates. And if you want to work with me, you can find me on my website, which is writtenindastars-astrology.com. Currently, I'm no longer taking bookings for audio recorded readings only, but I am taking bookings for live Zoom consultations in which we can dive into your natal chart, into the year ahead. We can tackle your career questions, your relationship questions, astrocartography, and so on. Thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful March, folks.